An aphorism of yours comes to mind: exuberance is beauty. But let me ask you, as you near 70, are you afraid of death?
I told that persistent German reporter, Henry Crabb Robinson, I cannot think of death as more than the going out of one room into another. And I'm fond of telling a friend that the real man is the imagination which liveth forever.
As a poet, are you tempted to write your own epitaph?
Well, perhaps in jest. What do you think of this one? I was buried near this dike, that my friends may weep as much as they like.
Very amusing. One of your last works, 21 Powerful Illustrations to the Book of Job, has been interpreted by some as a commentary on your own tribulations, and in the end, you achieve spiritual peace. Would you agree?
Have you noticed in my engravings for this work that God and Satan, as Job imagines them, have the same vision? My point is that Job's God, whom I call Old Noble Daddy, get it, silent and invisible, father of jealousy, is Job's projection of oppression. In the book of Job, that is, Milton's Messiah is called Satan. And mark this, in the book of Job, the man Job is morally superior to God. My illustrations, but don't forget the words from the Bible that I've chosen to frame and counterpoint them, display moments of struggle along the way in Job's spiritual education, which he triumphantly achieves in the end. Job had to learn what any fox knows. The fox condemns the trap, not himself.
You may be surprised to know that in our times, you have been judged a poet of the same stature as Wordsworth, for whom I know you had no patience, even though he admired your poems, and Coleridge, who called you a man of genius and commented enthusiastically on your songs. I know you would rank Shakespeare and Milton, though you made an epic poem to correct his errors, above Wordsworth and Coleridge. But where would you place yourself in the pantheon of poets?
No, I'm not surprised. But I cannot think that real poets have any competition. None are greatest in the kingdom of heaven. It is so in poetry.
I know you're working on a set of illustrations to Dante, 100 already, I hear. But do you have any more illuminated books to make?
My fingers emit sparks of fire with expectation of my future labors. Poetry, painting, and music, which I have made my whole life, are the three powers in man of conversing with paradise.
Now, regrettably, I must close this interview, but I have one last question, which I've been dying to ask you since I was in college. At a poetry reading, Allen Ginsberg, a prominent American poet who took seriously your proverb, "The road of excess leads to the palace of wisdom," and who died some years ago, claimed that while he was living in Harlem, he heard in his mind's outer ear your voice pronounce the poems "The Sunflower" and "The Sick Rose," experiencing an illumination of eternal consciousness. Did you really speak to Allen?
Let me tell you a story. Once the prophets Isaiah and Ezekiel dined with me, and I asked them how they dared so roundly to assert that God spoke to them, and whether they did not think at the time that they would be misunderstood and so be the cause of imposition. Isaiah answered, I saw not God, nor heard any, in the finite organical perception, but my senses discovered the infinite in everything, and as I was then persuaded and remained confirmed that the voice of honest indignation is the voice of God, I cared not for consequences, but wrote.